we had some reaction and a request.
Yes.
From some previous shows, from some previous shows, from a listener, a viewer of the past video, and JT set that up.
Well, what I would consider a friend of the show,
Okay.
homegirl of mine, has been enjoying the content. She sent me an article. The article was about black men should protect black women or do a better job of it. I'm going to read the last paragraph or so of the article. Well, not the last, a paragraph from the article. We're going to talk about a few things. So here we go. And this is proof that I graduated because I can read. The demise of black women doesn't seem to move black men as much as if the roles were reversed. Black women are an afterthought. All in all, to further the black community, sensitive conversations involving the mistreatment of women must be discussed. Men must acknowledge women's oppression, accept their contribution towards these issues, and change their actions to help protect black women. Black lives can't matter until all black lives matter. I know that brought about a few different thoughts and emotions in me reading the article and in particular that paragraph. I've talked about the pain and oppression Olympics that we are in between black men and black women, as if we don't have a black struggle, as if somehow we can get this done separate, or if somebody's going through something, the other side, as if there is another side, has to say, well, what about us, right? That this particular article reeks of that. I'm not even gonna get into the Black Lives Matter and all of that stuff. What I would like to go to is, there's a few things that have been like staples in terms of my childhood growing up that I've heard over and over again. And one of those staples amongst black men has been protect and provide. It was a resurgence in that. Steve Harvey made it re-famous, right? Sold y'all millions of books and did a couple movies based off of protect and provide. So I would like to toss that out there about the concept of protect and provide for us as black men and our community, and specifically protecting our women. So I would like to toss this over to the man that's been married for over 2 decades. Golf clap. My brother.
Before we came on camera, I was expressing to the fellas that, I have an issue with the narrative, with the article. And my issue is, it's a false narrative. And we're gonna have to come up, and I'm just thinking about this right now, I just wrote it. If folk are gonna bring issues like that to us, then we're gonna have to come up with another part of the show called data points. It's like, okay, where's the data that supports this narrative? Where's the data that supports the narrative that of everything that article said? Because it'll be easy for us to say, well, that's not us, because this sphere of men, we protect and we provide. So it just rubs me the wrong way, because not out of I'm getting emotional about it because the data doesn't support that. The data says something else.
What does the data say?
The data says that, let's back it up, that black men are in their children's lives more than any other fathers, any other subset of fathers. It said that black men are incarcerated at a rate more than all women in the world. So black men in the United States are incarcerated at a rate more than women in totality. So that's something that adds to the mix. It's called context. It says that when we look at divorces, women divorce men at a higher rate. So the divorce rate is...
The divorce rate amongst black people is 60%, a little bit over 60%, and 80% of those divorces are initiated by women.
By women.
Black women
right?
and black men.
Black men aren't leaving black women out of marriages.
And 87% of black men that are married to a black woman.
And so that means
and the number is 91 or 92 for black women.
So that means the black men who are getting married are marrying black women.
We're marrying each other, which leads to another thing. Don't nobody else want us. So we might want to start figuring this out. But, and I'm just gonna go get something. They don't want us.
and that's just a few data points, right? And that's significant data points. Mm-hmm. And so when I look at those in totality, like a narrative like that is divisive to me, right? When we're talking about black people, black family, black communities, a black nation, things like that are dismissive, divisive, and just ain't even worth my conversation.
It's gonna be hard to have a podcast without your conversation.
Oh, I'm gonna chime in. I just think the premise is bullshit.
Okay.
So, get into that little bit of that data. Just put the hard think progress. I keep this article bookmarked, so I could pull this out. And because that article, it was loaded with a lot of emotion. And what that emotion does, it evokes either anecdotal experiences
right.
that women have heard about, or maybe in some cases that they've dealt with on a very personal level. So, as we do is hit the data. So this is with Latino, white, or black men, okay? So children under 5, fed or ate meals with their children daily. Latino, 63%, 63.9. White, 73.9. Black, 78.2. Bathed or diapered or dressed their children daily. White, 45%. Latino, 60. Black, 70.4. Played with their children daily. White, 74%. Latino, 82. Black, 82.2. So that's just the data. Let's just look at the data. So then we have to ask ourselves, who is propagating this perception? We're going to call it a perception, but it's a myth. And we know that myths are not true. Something that's not true is a lie. So we won't sugarcoat that. It's a lie. So who is propagating this lie? What is it that they gain by propagating this lie?
Who benefits?
And then let's look at the end game. What does this lie in turn do to us as we interact and inhabit our relationships with black women? What does it do? How does it affect us? What does it do with how does it affect our communication? How does it contribute to us playing the oppression Olympics?
And how does it contribute to us playing the dating mating game if your bad faith narrative about
and we're entering
black men is already something negative, right? So and do black women benefit from the lie? I'd say no.